It's a beautiful day here today in Hamilton. It's May 24th, Friday. Just about headed out to the library today. I have no money to go to Tim Hortons or get a coffee or anything like that, so I'm going to hit up the library. It's about an hour, hour and a half walk, something like that, depending on how my back treats me today. But I got a lot of shit on my mind. Been searching for work ever since the rally, so I've been home a month now from Ottawa, and still have no luck. I reached out to a few people. It's funny because I reached out to one guy that hooked me up when I first came back with a guy who was a complete train wreck and a cokehead and a woman abuser. And there's a few times where I went to work and I couldn't even work because Buddy was sleeping. So, I reached out to him and I told him, I'm looking for some work, legit work. It's time for me to get my shit together, right? And the first thing he says to me is, "Oh, we'll call that guy." So, this goes to show you that not a lot of people actually care what actually happens to you. And it's all about actions. People can tell you whatever they want to tell you these days, but look at what they do. And that's really what I've been doing as of late, is I've been really looking at what people do, not say. Because like I said, people say a lot of shit these days, but when it comes to action, they don't take it. I proved that last month with the rally. Last night I was on Wi-Fi. I was actually helping out a friend. She's going through an ordeal with courts, like usual, and asked me for some help on some paperwork that she's filing a complaint through the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario. Now, as many people know, I have a background in law, and I know how these tribunals work. So, I try to help her as best as I can, but her deadline is actually today. So it didn't give me a lot of time. I basically just told her, you're self-represented in this, and you're gonna have to just give your side. Give as much evidence as possible with your complaint and take it from there. We all know that the system needs to be changed. And, again, last night I was looking at some of my posts on TikTok, and I got one post now that just went over 50,000 views. There's like 2,300 likes. I turned the comments off because some of the comments were just ridiculous. It's a lot of people out there with fear that have no understanding of actually how the system actually works. And if you're not in the shoes that we're in, keep your mouth shut. But, again, we got 50,000 views. My profile on TikTok is well over 1 million views in the last 6 months. I got 65,000 likes. It keeps growing, but there's so much fear out there that's placed within our governments, within our media, even the people around you, because they're entrapped in all of that. They're entrapped with fear. And fear is a heavy thing, and it is. I don't have fear of the family court system. I don't have fear of the government. My fear is people. That's why I'm out here by myself. It's very peaceful. Every morning I get up, I can smell the fresh air, smell the lilac bushes just blooming, and it's simplicity that I crave. And a lot of people out there, their lives are so complicated and they're so focused now on themselves because of what the media and our governments do. And people just don't see it. They don't. And you can argue with me on it all you want. But the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth does hurt. And there's going to be people that'll watch this that will argue with me on this. And that's okay, because we're all going to have our own opinion based off of what you guys watch on the news. I don't watch the news. I have not watched the news in I don't know how long, because I know what it does. I know what it is. It's a fear-mongering tactic. It always has been. So, you know, we have to learn to listen to our inner voices. We have to learn to do the right things. And sometimes that right thing requires sacrifice. You know, tomorrow, apparently there's supposed to be a march for homeless. It's supposed to be on May 25th. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I am going to check it out though, because as many of you guys know that watch my videos, I've been an advocate for homelessness for a very long time. I've also been an advocate for mental health for a very long time. And now for the past 5 years, I've been an advocate for family law reform. So I've advocated and I've tried to help people for a very long time. You know, I'm a victim of sexual assault as a child. I'm a victim of physical assault from a father who was a piece of shit. So I stand up to those things. And I know there's not a lot of people out there that do it. There's a lot of people that have actually gone through it. I have many family members that have gone through it, and they wanted to sweep that shit under the rug. And I can't do that. That's why I am the lone wolf in my family. I don't even really actually have a family anymore, because they've all abandoned me. You know, my mother, which most of you know, lives 5-10 minutes away from here. She's a cokehead, she's an alcoholic, and she listens to my ex-wife like everything that comes out of her mouth is the truth. And it doesn't even matter to my mom if I show her the evidence. I have the evidence, whereas a lot of people out there, you don't have evidence. It's your word against theirs. I do have evidence. I have evidence to show that my ex-wife coerced all of this to get back at me because I left her. But again, you know, does it really matter anymore? No, because people are so opinionated in society that you'll judge somebody based off of what somebody else says without even hearing their side of the story. And then once you even show them the evidence, that implant is already there. So now it's all about accountability. And that is also another huge thing that people just, they can't accept anymore, is accountability. You know, and that's what we were fighting for in the family court system, is accountability on these family courts. So, you know, there's a rally tomorrow. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to try and talk with a few people about it, because I'm in a situation here that it seems like I'm just never going to get out of. And as it doesn't matter how hard I try, you do need a little bit of help. And I'm going to be the first to admit it. I need help. You know, I do have about a handful of people that have helped me out and continue to help me. You know, I have a good friend, Ron, who's out in Saskatchewan, who I consider like a father to me, a father figure, because he was a better father figure to me than my own father would have ever been. And my dad died when he was 41. So, you know, I appreciate everything that Ron has ever done for me and will do for me, because I was Ron in the 1980s. Ron went exactly through the same processes that I went through, maybe even a little bit worse. You know, he was accused of many different things, and back then in Saskatchewan especially, it's a mess. So, you know, Ron would get accused of assaulting his ex-wife because she had a mental disorder, and you know, the cops would bust in and beat the shit out of him. And this is all documented. So, you know, Ron's a person that understands my journey. He understands why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's also a lot of other people that are close to me that understand what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to make people see that there is evil out there. This world right now is in a huge battle between good and evil. And if you're not doing the good, right things, unfortunately, you're on that other side. And there's a lot of people that watch my videos that do nothing. They all know who my ex-wife is. And like I announced yesterday, I'm going to release part 1, chapter 2 of the Silver Bullet stories, which is entitled Doing Her Own Thing. Because that was one of the comments that my ex-wife made to a senior detective of 25 years of the Hamilton Police Force after her first allegation of me sexually assaulting our own daughter failed. And the truth came out. She specifically told that detective that she was going to do her own thing the next day. And she did. She absolutely did. And that's why I'm standing here today. I'm homeless today. Because the system uses this as leverage against you. They always will, unless we make that stand. So tomorrow I'll be releasing that video. I'm sure I'm going to get heat from it from many people out there because I'm finally going to name her. You know, for 5 years I've tried to protect my children by not naming her. But I'm not protecting my children, actually. What I'm doing is I'm continuing to allow this abuse to continue. My ex-wife is a piece of shit. She's a compulsive liar. She's a narcissist. And she believes that everything that she says and does trumps everything else. She's always been that way. That's why I left her. So people like this, they need to be outed. They need to be held accountable for what they've done. And it's not only just what she's done to me. It's what she continues to do to our children every single day. My kids live a lie. You know, they live a fantasy life right now. The guy that's in their house right now, he is actually a convicted abuser. He has a record, 3 actually, for abuse, all violent. But I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy because I tell people about it. But I provide the evidence. I have evidence also to prove that in a document done by the Office of the Children's Lawyer. But would people believe it? Probably not. They won't even believe what's in front of them. So tomorrow I will be releasing all of that because we don't know how long we're here. And that's one thing that I've always said is that I don't fear what's next, whereas many people do. They fear what's next. I don't fear what's next. What I fear is what's here. And like I said, I fear people more because people have changed so much and we need to stick together. So I'm going to head out to the library now. That's my little rant for today. Again, I appreciate everybody, you know, for their support. There's a lot of people that, you know, have, like I said before, have helped me. Ron is included in one of them. He's been a lifesaver for me, to be honest. You know, like last week, he sent me $100, and I did a little bit of groceries, but with the price of everything, you know, I'm basically only able to get, you know, a few days. So it's been a couple of days since I've eaten. I'm trying to just gain as much energy as possible, find energy. I slept a little bit. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Anybody that thinks that this lifestyle is easy, I'll give you my shoes for the day and we'll see if you can handle it. So I'll be making that video tomorrow. I'll be trying to do as many updates as I can because, again, we don't know how long we're here for. But I want to make one final message, and that's to my children. Guys, I know that things have been difficult these last 5 years. I know that you've heard things that aren't true, a lot of things that aren't true, and one day you'll actually see the full truth. I hope that one day you guys can understand why your dad had to do what he had to do. There's going to be opinions, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. But take my word for it, I did everything so that I can try and protect you from what you're around and to try and protect your future. Because this is no future for any child. So just know that your father will always love you no matter what. No matter what has been said, no matter if you erase me from your life, I'll always be there no matter what.